Good evening. 7 o'clock, Thursday evening. Welcome to Urban Facts. I'm your host, Eamon Hotep Parker. Today we'll be interviewing. Let's get a picture up here. This wonderful young lady here, Miss Lynette Albury. She'll be telling us about Nette's faith journey. I ain't gonna spill the beans on that. I'll let Lynette explain that. But before we get into all that, we're going to talk about the teacher in Virginia, Miss Abigail Swainer. Miss Swainer, where's Miss Abigail at? There you go. Abigail was shot at I was about to say Redneck at Redneck Elementary School. I'm sorry, in Virginia, and the culprit behind this was a 6-year-old child. It's quite disturbing. You have a 6-year-old that has calculated the forethought to bring a gun to school and intentionally shoot his first grade teacher. Excuse me. There's definitely a sign that something's not happening right somewhere in the home, and it brings other red flags about, like, how did he even have the opportunity to bring a weapon into his house? Firearms in the United States are very easy to come about. It shouldn't be that easy for a 6-year-old to possess. If you possess a firearm, say like that one right there, they're supposed to go in what you would call a lockbox. So a lockbox is designed to, keep the firearm out of harm's way. That's a lockbox right there. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So what the lockbox does, it's actually like a safe. So you see there's a weapon inside of there. There's fingerprint scanners, buttons to put in a code to unlock the box, so on and so forth. Apparently, this 6-year-old who's ever in charge of him at his home, their gun is just laying around like it's a toy. So this young man, thought it was within his best interest to pick up this weapon, take it to school the next day, and shoot his teacher at 6. I'm not really sure how situations like this can happen. Excuse me for a second. Where a 6-year-old has the mental capacity to even think that the best way for me to solve my issue is for me to get a gun and resolve it that way. That is not how things work. This is why we here at the Ethel E. Zachary Foundation emphasize the importance of proper parenting, because 6-year-olds should not have a gun. A toy gun, a water gun, no kind of gun. And I know back in the day, like in the 80s, everybody used to have a water gun. You go out in the summertime and you squirt your friends and things like that. But as bad as some of the parenting is now, you can't even chance it. Because who's to say that somebody's parenting skills are being dug in enough to teach their child not to pick up a weapon when they felt as though they've been offended by somebody, and then they take matters into their own hands. To give you a little briefing on it. According to Virginia police, a 6-year-old boy at Ridge Neck Elementary School in Virginia used a gun legally purchased by his mother to intentionally shoot his teacher on Friday, January 6th. Excuse me. Abigail Swainer, the first grade teacher, was the only person injured. Even in all this woman led her class outside of the classroom. Took those children outside of the classroom, met up with another teacher, and she fainted right there. She was immediately rushed to the hospital where she was treated for her wounds. The question is, who's to blame? Who do you blame? Because you can't blame the 6-year-old, because even if you wanted to, you couldn't, because there's a law called the infancy law that says that this child doesn't even have the mental capacity or the intellect or the maturity to be charged with a crime, because he just doesn't know what he's doing at the time. He doesn't know that what's happening at that present time of getting that gun, taking it to the school, is going to commit a crime. Now, he know he's doing wrong, you know what I mean? But like I said, he doesn't have the mental capacity to formulate all this together and just think that nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean? He may think, maybe, she might get shot and get back up, or whatever the case may be. So the parents are the ones that blame. Because just like I showed you, if they'd have put the gun in a lockbox, then the 6-year-old couldn't get to it. But being as though it wasn't, Miss Swainer was shot. Right through the hand, got shot in the hip, I believe. And in all that, this woman still had the admiration, the know thought to say, hey, let me get these kids out. She was doing her job. If the parents was doing their job, she wouldn't have got shot. I know a lot of you saying, well, how can you blame the parents? Like I said, what are you going to do? He's 6. It's a law called the infancy law. You can't charge him. You don't have the mental capacity or the maturity to be charged with this crime. So they're going to charge the parents. Because of your neglect, this crime happened. It's not the same thing as losing a remote. It's not the same as losing a remote, or you left your phone at your friend's house, or whatever the case may be. You left a gun somewhere where a minor can get it. They took it to school. He ain't even take it to school for show and tell. I mean, he had something to show, and somebody got something to tell him. But now you got to think about, how is this going to affect this young man in the long run? He could simply just, return back to life after therapy, because he's definitely going to get that, and become a promising student. Move on and have a successful career, depending on how his parents handle this. Or he could become a criminal and already start a path in the wrong direction. Too many things to say how that can happen. Some of you parents are not taking parenting seriously. And then a red flag pops up when your child does something that's not appropriate or illegal or that offends somebody else. And then opposed to you acting like a mature adult, you acting like a park ape. You say, well, don't put your hands on my son or my daughter and don't say this. And well, somebody's hands is on this little boy. You know what I mean? Because they leave, you got to go back and forth to wherever they holding him at, because he's been held, at a mental institution or a hospital for psychiatric care. And people are saying something to, this individual's son to try to find out how he thought it was okay to bring a gun to school. I own a gun. And I feel very uncomfortable every time I have to, leave outside the house with it. My children, they know where it's at, but they not dumb enough to try to get to the box and like, oh, let's play with dad's gun. No, don't. It wouldn't be good if they tried to do that. Let's just say that. Because I teach them that, that's something that you don't do. As a responsible person. You know what I mean? I say, hey, this is for protection. It's not a toy. You know what I mean? So, any updates that we get in regards to that, definitely will find out on our next show. We'll put some information up on the foundation's Facebook page. So, our mission here is to educate and cultivate inner city youth through literature, arts, history, worldview, to give these guys hope. Hope that they can produce a successful future for themselves. We got a youth conference coming up in July. The theme is never give up hope. Because if you don't have any hope, then you don't really see a future, because what you're looking at right now is very dumb. You know what I mean? So without further ado, we're going to. I was supposed to have a clip of Lynette, but we ain't going to hold all that. We're going to bring on right now Miss Lynette Albury. Lynette.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how you?
I'm get centered. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I want to, thank you for, wanting to come on. Well, coming on the show from the invite. I believe that you have some pertinent information that will definitely, help, other individuals, in that particular situation. So, tell us a little bit about yourself as a child coming up.
Okay. So first off, I want to say thank you for having me tonight. Thank you for allowing me the platform to be able to share a little bit about myself. So my childhood coming up, I lived a pretty sheltered life for the most part. I'm a PK. So my dad has been a pastor or minister from the time that I was born, as long as I can remember. So my family was like heavily into the church. Uh, it's just me and my brother. We used to use the saying "us four, no more." My mom, my dad, me, and my brother. So I was born in Chester, Pennsylvania, as a baby. By the time I was 2, we moved to Philadelphia. So I was pretty much raised in North Philly, like most of my life. Coming up through school and everything. I lived in North Philly for the most of my life. And just a loving home, church family. I knew at a young age that I was different from everyone else. Like in my community, in my neighborhood, you know, me and my brother, we used to get teased. They would say, "Oh, the church kids, they go to church kids," and stuff like that. You know, they would see us coming home from church with our little dress, and my brother with his little suit and his little tie. So, you know, they knew it was something different about us and our family. You know, we actually used to try to kind of cater to the community. We used to have a youth night at the house where the kids would come. You know, they would play games, and you know, we would you know, feed them, give them snacks, just try to show love in the community. But I pretty much grew up in like a loving family. You know, pretty, like I said, pretty sheltered. So you know, that's for the most part just a loving family church environment.
Okay, cool. Um, so how was your relationship with your mom? Your mom's name is Lynette, right? No, what's your mom's
No,
name?
don't be hacking our names.
Yeah, my
so
bad.
so I'm actually named after both of my parents. My dad is Lawrence and my mom is Annette, and I'm
Oh,
Larnette.
Annette. Okay, all right. Yeah,
Yes. So I
growing
have
up,
the
killed
first
both of
the
them.
first the first part of my dad's name and the second part of my mom's. So pretty much coming up, me and my mom, we were very close. Actually, when I was younger, I was more of a daddy's girl, but as I got older, I began to get a little closer to my mom. So you know, we had the loving mother-daughter relationship, but I feel like as I got older and when I got grown, our relationship kind of changed from a mother-daughter to more like a sister best friend type of thing. And we were very close. We had a very good relationship. um I'm not sure how far you want me to dig into, but I ended up being my mom's caregiver. My mom went through breast cancer, which is one of the topics we're going to talk about tonight. But
Right.
yeah, we became very, very close, and you know, I was like right there by her side all throughout her journey.
Oh, okay. Um, when did your mom first discover that she had breast cancer?
Okay, so my mom first discovered that she had breast cancer back in 2008.
Uh-huh.
It was discovered with a mammogram and a biopsy. She actually was experiencing pains in her breast, and she actually was experiencing that for a few months. She actually carried the lump for a little while. The main reason that she did that was because at the time she did not have medical insurance. So she
Mm-hmm.
just kept saying, I can't go. They're not going to see me. I don't have insurance. You know, she kept putting it off. And I'm like, Mom, no, you have to go. Like, they have to see you. They can't turn you away. And finally, the pain just got so unbearable that she finally went to the doctor, and they did detect a lump, and they wanted to do further testing to see if it was cancerous. And I will never forget the day when I got the call, when she called me to let me know that they found out that it was cancerous. We were actually going through a very tough time that particular week. My dad early in the week had a stroke, so I was actually going to pick him up. He was getting discharged, and as I'm walking to the hospital to pick up my dad, I get a call from my mom telling me, like, they just called me and they said, you know, they did the biopsy. It's cancer. I have breast cancer. She's like panicking. I'm trying to calm her down. I hang up the phone with her, and then I'm in tears. So I'm like walking in the University of Penn Hospital in tears, picking up my dad. You know, it was just so much going on at the same time. But
Right.
of course, we weren't really sure what all the steps were. We wasn't really sure what exactly to do, because this was our first time ever experiencing something like this. And of course, the enemy creeps in your head, try to give you all different kind of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we was thinking is like, oh my God, death. Oh my God, I'm like, I'm about to lose my mom. Like, what's happening? So I had so many different mixed emotions, but I was trying to stay strong for her. I'm like, we all can't be falling apart, you know. So I was trying to stay strong for my mom, and that's what I did.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So, um, I guess with this new illness coming on, in the family, um, tell us, did you guys do well? Did you yourself do any research in regards to, breast cancer?
Yes.
When
So
they first found out.
yeah. So we definitely started digging into it, trying to find out, what all the different options were. We did find out that there are different types of cancer, breast cancer, and we found out that there's different stages and what all the stages mean. Of course, the earlier you detect it, the earlier stages you will be, and it's easier to treat it when you're in your earlier stages. However, my mom, like I said, she had carried her lump for a little while that it ended up spreading over to her other breast. And so she was stage one in one breast and stage two in the other breast. So
Oh
hers
wow.
was like, it was pretty intense from the jump. So, she ended up doing treatment. She had to do, she had to have a surgery. She had to do chemo, radiation, which is what I was going to get into in reference to cancer. So
Mhm.
pretty much for people that don't know what breast cancer is, it's pretty much like a overgrowth of the cells inside of your breast, and that's how
Mhm.
you begin to develop the lumps in your breast. Some people have symptoms; they have pains in their breasts, or their breast may deform, or you may get some sort of discharge. But then you have a lot of people who don't have any symptoms at all. You can go about 10 years without having any symptoms of breast cancer. So the main way to detect breast cancer is through the mammograms, which is an x-ray of the breast. So that's why it's so very important to have your annual mammogram. And a lot of times if cancer runs in your family, you want to start getting those mammograms like early. I know sometimes they say, oh, wait till you're 30 or you're 40 or you're 50. Like, no, if it runs in your family, you definitely want to start early. I actually had to start getting my mammograms at the age of 30. Um, and that was because once my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So definitely please stay up on your annual mammograms, because sometimes, like I said, you may not even have any symptoms, but you may be walking around with cancer in your body. So the mammograms do help detect the lumps or the mass or whatever you may have. And then what else did I want to say? I'm sorry, my thoughts is
That's
like
all right.
in my head, but yeah, I definitely wanted to say how important it is to have your mammograms. And then as far as like once they do detect the cancer, you want to take action right away. You don't want to walk around and carry that thing. So you want to find out what your options are. A lot of times the first treatment is surgery, because they want to go in there, if they're able to just remove the cancer, they'll go ahead and do that. But sometimes the cancer spreads to other parts of your body, and then they can't just go ahead and do the surgery. They have to go ahead with other treatments like chemotherapy or
Mhm.
radiation. And then they also have hormone therapy, which is in the form of a pill. They may give you a pill that you can take that works almost like a chemo type of therapy to help kill the cancer cells. The only thing about the treatments are a lot of times they don't just kill the cancer cells. They kill even the good cells that your body actually needs. So this is why you have to try to like build up your immune system, because at this point your immune system is very low and you can easily get sick. You can easily catch other sicknesses and diseases because the medication doesn't know how to identify the cancer cells between the
Right.
good cells. So it's very important to like definitely go get treated as soon as possible. If you find out that you do have breast cancer, you want to get on it.
So Nette's journey, like how did that come all about?
Okay, so originally it was called Annette's Faith Journey, and it actually started when my mom was re-diagnosed with cancer. So
Mhm.
my mom, she was cancer free. She was in remission for about 8 years after the first diagnosis, but the
Right.
cancer came back in 2017, and when it came back, it spread to 3 places in her body, and she was automatically stage 4.
Oh wow.
So this go around, it was so much different though. Like when she first was diagnosed with cancer the first time, she like kind of went into a state of depression. She was just like, so overwhelmed, and she was like, just super discouraged. And
Mhm.
I found out that when she got re-diagnosed the second time, she took a whole different approach. Like she was like super positive about it. She was like decreeing and declaring, by Jesus stripes I'm healed. Cancer don't live here. She had all these different sayings and declarations, and she
Right.
began to put prayers up on the walls and declarations. She was just speaking it every day. She like, listen, I will live and not die and declare the works of the Lord. Like it was just a totally different perspective that she took this go round. And I was like, yo, people got to see this. I'm like, I got to share this. So at first I started posting on my page, like when we would go to cancer treatment center, I was posting, when we would go to the appointments and speak with the doctors, and just like, my mom singing her song. She even made up a song, "Cancer Don't Live Here." So like, I'm like, I gotta capture this. So I was putting it on my page. So everybody was like, give your mom her own page. She need her own page. So I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. So I made up her own Facebook page that was called Nette's Faith Journey. And then she had her own Faith Journey followers. People would tune in. Like that's how they were able to keep up with my mom. And it actually helped me a lot too, because instead of me having to text everybody individually when they wanted to know how she was doing, they would just go to that page and they could follow up on her. So
did you share this interview on that page?
Did I say it again?
I said, were you able to share, this interview on the page?
No, so I was trying to, and I saw it was live, and then the live went off. It said we'll be back soon the last time I checked.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, we probably could just do it afterwards. I mean, because it's definitely some very important information, because you educate me on some stuff.
Oh yeah. So I did share the YouTube link though on the page. Right. So hopefully they went on the live. They're on the live stream. But yeah. So what was I? Oh, so what happened was it was her page, and it was just updating everybody with her. So so pretty much my mom went through stage 4 cancer for about approximately 3 years. She was diagnosed in 2017. And God called her home on January 8th, 2020. What happened was the cancer began to spread so much that it started going to other organs of her body. What happened was she was on a hormone therapy treatment. And then after a year and a half, her body became immune to the treatment. So they had to switch her to a different treatment. And when they did that, the new treatment that they switched her to, her body wasn't very receptive of it. And then they switched her to chemo. But by the time they switched her to chemotherapy, the cancer had already started moving to other organs. And it started making her so weak that when it was time for her appointments for chemotherapy, she couldn't go because she would be so sick. So she started being in the hospital for like months at a time. Finally, it got to the point where she didn't want to do the chemotherapy anymore because she was getting so sick, so weak. And and finally she told us, she said, it's my time. She had been fighting for so many years. And guess what? Even though God wasn't able to heal her physical body here on earth, guess what? I know where that lady is, and she is healed. She don't got to worry about none of this, no COVID-19, none of this stuff. So, but she was such an inspiration to everyone who was able to follow that page. So I didn't want the page to die. So what I did was, I ended up changing it to Nette's Faith Journey, and I made a page for the both of us. And that's how Nette's Faith Journey came to light, because what happened was I ended up being diagnosed with breast cancer. So this became also my journey as well. My mom passed in January 2020, and by July 1st of 2020, I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. Now the difference between me and my mom was I had a different type of breast cancer that wasn't as aggressive as my mom's. And we also detected it very early. Like we detected it when it was a small cyst, and it was only stage 1, and it was only in the one breast. So we caught it very, very early. I did reach out to my mom's oncologist because I was just so, first of all, I was impressed with her work and everything. And then I had a relationship with her already because I had been going to my mom's appointments and things with her. So I reached out to her directly. She was so close with my mom and I that I had her personal cell phone number. So I call her. I'm like, listen, I need you. And she like, what's going on? And I told her everything, and she was able to get me in right away. I had my surgery. I ended up opting to have a bilateral mastectomy where I had my breast removed because of the family medical history. I didn't want to chance the cancer, trying to come back. or spreading or anything like that. So that's what I chose to do. And I was blessed because I didn't have to do any chemotherapy or any radiation because of the fact that we caught it so early.
Right.
They checked and it didn't spread to any other place in my body. It didn't make it to the lymph nodes in my body or anything like that. So I was super blessed. So I, like I said, decided to share my story the same way that I shared my mom's story. I kept going with the Nette's faith journey. I was like, listen, Nette's faith journey phase 2. Let's go. Let's do it. And I appreciated that because it allowed me to not only share my story, but I was able to get supporters that actually encouraged me and helped me. They helped motivate me to know, like, Nette, you can get through this. You got this. They was calling me, texting me, checking on me. I had visits. People were bringing me things. Like, that is another main thing that you need when you're going through this. You need all the support that you can get, all the love, all the encouragement. And I was getting all of that. And I was just like, thank you, Jesus, for placing these people in my life. I had my dad there. I had my husband at the time. He wasn't my husband. He was my boyfriend, but he was very, very supportive and right there by my side. My brother, my family, church family, my pastor and church members. I'm just grateful to God because you need that when you're going through something like this. Like, you need to know that you're not by yourself and that somebody's there, just somebody to pray with you. Just all of that you need, all of that going through this because you have so many different mixed thoughts and emotions. Like, sometimes you can't even fix your mouth to pray for yourself because you different mixed emotions and different feelings. And like I said, the enemy try to creep in your head and tell you you're going to die. You're not going to make it, so you have to keep positive people around you and people that that are praying for you and with you.
Now, what advice would you give? Well, here's a question before I start that one. Is it just women that can catch breast cancer, or
no? So I'm glad you said that too. So breast cancer is mostly found in women, but it also can be found in men. It's rare, but men can have breast cancer as well. So one thing I know that doctors always say is listen to your body. Your body speaks to you. Anytime if you feel anything that doesn't feel right, or you might have some sort of pain, or you may feel something that might not feel right, always just don't second guess it. Go call your doctor, get an x-ray, get a mammogram, whatever you got to get done, because your body will speak to you. Your body will speak to you. So men, yes, you can get breast cancer too. If you feel something that don't feel right, you feel like a lump or a cyst or a mass or whatever, or you having pains in your breast, men, call the doctor. You can get it too. It's rare, but it happens.
Yeah, you better go ahead and get that appointment ready. So how can somebody, I guess, like a female, how would they, I guess, check to see, like, what age would you recommend somebody just to, do like a routine check?
So I would suggest, first of all, if it runs in your family, I know they usually say around the age of 30, but if it runs in your family, you may want to start before that. Like, you may want to start in your 20s. And anybody, you could do like, a self breast exam at home, feel around, like, start to get familiar with your body. And like I said, if you feel something that don't feel right, even if you're not sure, call your doctor, like, make an appointment and, let them check it out. They're the experts, or they will set up, like I said, a mammogram to get it done. But like, yeah, anybody can start doing breast exams at home on yourself. You can feel around and see if you feel something, an area that feels tender, or an area where you might feel a lump or something. Yes.
Now here's some, I did find, let me see, some symptoms. So the symptoms said, what are the symptoms of breast cancer? A new lump in your breast or underarm, armpit, thickening or swelling of part of the breast, irritation, or what is that there? Dumpling of the breast skin, redness or flaky skin in the nipple area or the breast, pulling in of the breast, and pain in the nipple area. I think that was. Let me see. Yeah, that was just from a. Where did I get this from? Actually, the CDC. So it's the CDC.
Yeah.
You can look that up. Just do a little common search.
Yeah.
And the thing about, excuse me, um, when you're doing your research, make sure that is reliable information. You don't want to go to
Right. Right.
the Fred and Chuck's waffle web page and they trying to give you information about
Right.
things because they don't know nothing. You want to go somewhere reliable. So
Right.
definitely the CDC. What advice would you have for the community in regards to this disease?
I just want to say, I would say, be aware, take this serious because the cases of cancer are like growing. One of the things that I found in my research, since we want to go there, is that there are more than 200,000 cases in the U.S. per year. So this is real, and it's starting to be more common, um, with the breast cancer. And again, like I said, early detection is the best way because it's easier to treat in the earlier stages. It gets more complicated when you start getting into your stage 2, 3, and 4. And you don't want it to start spreading to other places in your body. So, if I would give any advice, I would say again, pay attention to your body. Don't take this lightly. Please don't brush it off. If you feel a lump, but you say, "Oh, it's not hurting. It's fine," no. Even if it's not giving you any pains, it could still possibly be cancerous, and it could still be actually spreading to the rest of your body. Like I said, there's some women, like, how we just named all the symptoms. There's some women that don't get symptoms at all, and they don't even know that they're walking around with it. So again, the self exams do help. If you feel something, let your doctor know, and definitely still do your annual mammograms every year. I would say don't brush this off like it's something, small, because it's not. It could breast cancer can be fatal. Breast
Mhm.
cancer you can die from breast cancer. So please take this serious. I would challenge anybody, please take this serious. If you know that you have breast cancer in your family, please get yourself checked. You may have to start getting checked early. Reach out to your doctor and ask your doctor how early can you get started with getting your mammograms, just to make sure that you're not carrying it. And you can also speak to your doctor about having a gene test done to see if the gene runs in your family or if you carry the gene. That's another thing that you can also do, because you can start doing preventative things. Even if cancer doesn't run in your family, you can still do preventative things. There are some natural things out there that you can take that are preventative. Turmeric, sea moss, black seed oil. There's lots of other things. Maybe Google and research some other things that you can do that are natural to start preventing it, even though you don't currently have it now.
Mhm.
Some of the things that I had started to dig into is so funny. Not funny, but it's crazy how it happened. Because after my mom passed, I did start to try to dig into some preventative things, not knowing that I actually had cancer myself. But you just never know. Anybody can get cancer, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to run in your family. But if it does, I would definitely you know beg you to please pay attention and please start being alert and being aware.
Now, from your experience with this whole journey, what are some things that would cause breast cancer?
So um even with speaking with my oncologists, they don't, to be honest, they don't really know what fully causes cancer. It's just a overgrowth of the cells in your body. Like, it's like a mutation of the cells in your body. There's no like particular thing that will literally trigger it. But like I said, one of the things that they do teach you is to, you can, start doing preventative things. You want to, watch the way that you eat. You want to, make sure you definitely eating your vegetables. Eat as try to push more vegetables into your diet. Um, I even hear some people say, "Oh, I'm not eating any meat and different things." But I would say, like you said, definitely research and look into it. But there's no particular one thing that can cause breast cancer.
Right. So I guess it's like regular routine doctor visits and things like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
That's what I
black people,
would say.
this ain't the time to be like, I don't want to go no doctor.
Yeah,
Take
because
your
like
life to the doctor.
no, this is not the time to be chickening out, saying you scared of the doctor,
That's right.
or even like I said with my mom with the medical coverage. Like, no, do not let that be an issue. There is public assistance out here,
That's right.
and the doctors, they cannot turn you away. Go to the doctor. Please do not let medical insurance, be an issue. Like, they will bill you. They will figure it out, but you have to
Mhm.
go in and get treated. Like, please do not, push it on the back burner because you feel like you don't have money to pay the medical bill. Worry about that later.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
don't do no assuming, and they
right?
because with
No,
the go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say I'm glad we brought that point up because another thing is there are organizations that can help you, and a lot of times when you go to certain cancer treatment facilities, they have different grants and programs that can even assist you with financial costs. I know American Cancer Society is one of the companies. They are big on helping cancer patients of any type of cancer. You would it's a toll-free number. You will call them and you would tell them your situation, and they jump in and they help my mom a lot. Like, even with her, they helped her with her car fare to get back and forth to appointments. They gave us gas
Hmm.
cards. They helped out. Like, she had started losing a lot of weight, and she had to start drinking like the boost supplements. They helped
Right.
her with cases of boost for her like, they help out in lots of ways. So please don't let money be an issue, because there are programs out here, there are grants that help cancer patients of all types of cancer. So there is funding to help you as well.
Well, we're definitely glad that you are a survivor,
Yes,
and
thank you, Jesus.
you made it
Thank
out
you,
alive.
Jesus.
Um, but I mean, on a serious note, like you'll have people like it's people that died at home of breast cancer just from the fear of just going to the doctor. You know
Right.
what I mean? And you can't make assumptions that well, I don't have insurance, like you said, or
Yeah.
like these organizations out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're a new organization, but we know I got money that we can afford to send you to the doctor if you ain't got the car fare.
Right.
I'll come and get you.
Right. I
And
know.
take you.
Listen, let me know. Listen, I will come get somebody if you need to go to an appointment and you think you might have cancer, or you going through cancer. I'm so passionate about this, like, you don't even understand. Like, I look at this so much differently than I did before. Like, I used to hear all the time of people, with cancer, but it hits different when it hits your body, or when it hits a close family member. It hits different. And which leads me to my next point, that not only with the Faith Journey page that I started, my mom and I also started a campaign called Faith Journey #Cancer Don't Live Here. Um, and that was just pretty much to spread inspirational messages, just to encourage people that might be going through cancer or any type of sickness or disease. We started out with like t-shirts and cups that said Faith Journey #Cancer Don't Live Here. That was one of my mom's favorites, saying cancer don't live here, cancer don't have a place, cancer don't live in this body. And she would decree and declare that every day, and that's what stuck with me when I was going through cancer. Cancer don't live here. So I actually turned it into a whole clothing line called Faith Journey Apparel, and I have t-shirts that have the sayings, stuff that my mom used to say and declare when she was
Mhm.
going through her journey. I'm wearing one now that says, "You can live healed." We have her favorite
Well,
saying when she.
I'm gonna take myself off.
Wait, can you see it? It says, "You can live healed." I have Jesus is Lord. I have, of course, Faith Journey #Cancer Don't Live Here. And what's the other one? Oh, God is bigger than cancer.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's just a way for me to spread inspirational messages through t-shirts, cups, tote bags, pillows, hats. And it's just a campaign that we have going, just to encourage people, just to let them know, like, you can live healed. You don't have to walk around um, you know, bedridden and sick and shut in. No, decree and declare, by Jesus' stripes I'm healed. God is
And
bigger than
pick
cancer.
up the phone and call somebody. Don't just be sitting there
Yes,
all depressed.
yes,
You
that's true.
want to voice you want to vent to somebody. Somebody that's going to encourage you. Don't just call somebody and be like, well, oh man, that's tough.
Yeah,
You want somebody to
somebody that
tell
just
you,
don't want your business. No,
yeah,
like
that's
you,
right.
yeah, like yeah, you need people that's really going to encourage you and pray with you, help you get through this.
How did I guess your husband now, how did he help you along the way with
Oh
these?
my goodness, he was such a lifesaver. So the thing was, when I was going through my journey, he and I had just started dating. So when I got diagnosed with cancer, I actually didn't even know if I wanted to share that with him because we were newly dating. We had been dating for about a month. And I'm like, all right, so do I tell him? Do I not tell him? Like, but I'm like, well, he gonna find out because I'm getting a surgery. Like he gonna want to know what's going on with me. Um, so I decided to tell him what I was going through, and I said, I'm not sure if this is something that you are going to want to go through with me, or you might want to fall back and we just be homies and just talk here and there. I said, I'm open for whatever you choose to do because this is a lot. Like I'm not sure because at that point I wasn't sure if I was going to have to go through chemo, radiation, and all of that. I wasn't sure. So I talked through it with him and he said, listen, he said, little boys run. He said, I'm a man. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here with you. I got you. I got your back. And he did. When I went through my first surgery, my dad took me and my dad was actually, right there by my side as well. And I could only bring one person with me. And so my dad came with me to my surgery. But best believe he was blowing up my dad's phone. Is she done? Is she okay? And so they did keep me overnight one night. And when I came home, that next day he was there, like he was helping me, cooking and making sure the apartment was straight and just running to the store for me, just very very supportive and near by my side the whole time. So I was very very grateful. It actually relieved my dad and gave him a chance to take a break because it was a lot for one person, because I literally, after my surgery, I literally couldn't even stand up on my own. So I needed somebody to help me stand up so I could go to the bathroom. I needed somebody to grab my medicine and bring everything like right there. And I couldn't even sleep in the bed. I was sleeping in the lazy boy because it was very painful for me to lay in the bed. So I literally needed somebody to wait on me hand and foot. And he was there. He was that person. Him and my dad, were kind of alternating, but I was just grateful because, like I said, it would have been a lot for just my dad. So for him to step up and step in, like I said, we weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend yet. We had just started like kind of talking, but for him to step up and take on that task, that was very commendable, and I really appreciate him for that.
Sometimes you do need somebody that's just gonna, just come right in and help you out. Um,
Yes.
and like I said, we definitely glad that you are a survivor. You was able to give us
Yes.
this information and
Thank you,
educate
Jesus.
other people. Yeah, I mean, it's no joke
Yes.
because
No, it's very
you to
scary. It's not
have
a joke.
for you to have went through that experience with your mom, and then you found out after your mom passed, though, right?
Yes, so my mom passed in January of 2020 and I was diagnosed July 1st of 2020. And I'm not gonna lie, I was scared, y'all, because it was so close to my mom passing. And the first thing popped in my head is like, oh my God, am I gonna die? What's happening? And then I had to snap out of that thing. I'm like, no, don't even think like that, Lynette. What did your mom do? How was she getting through this? And I remember like she didn't speak negative like that. She just began to decree and declare her healing. I said, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. And then, like I said, with the Faith Journey page, with my supporters, they help push me and encourage me. And but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was afraid at first. I was, because it was a lot, especially seeing my mom go through all of her different stages. And I was actually there at the point, when she was actually declining. So it was hard to see her go through that. And then right after that, I'm diagnosed with the same disease. So it was a lot. It was a
Yeah.
lot.
Here you guys go right here. It's y'all wedding.
Ah,
So that's her husband right there.
yeah, that's my
You
boo.
How you say his name?
Asa.
How you pronounce his name again? Asa, yeah.
Asa.
So yeah,
Yes.
so it's definitely imperative that you have somebody that has your back. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Whether you got cancer or I mean whatever. Because you never know, like, everybody needs somebody to hold them up in
Yes.
bad times. And, like he said, little boys run, men step up to the plate. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And that was very commendable of him to do that,
It was.
with not knowing which way this could go. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I definitely thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. If it was definitely a pleasure to do you guys' wedding.
I know. I was so happy to see you.
But I'm definitely, as excited as I was at the wedding, I'm more excited that you were willing, to share your journey with
Oh, thank you.
with our
Anytime.
audience here.
Anytime. Listen, I said, God didn't heal me just for me. He healed me so that I could share this with other people. I
Right.
can encourage other people that our God is a healer, man. I'm telling you, like if I didn't believe that God was a healer, I believe it now. I'm a believer. But yes, God is real and he can heal you from anything. Anything. Just trust him. You got to trust him and put your faith
That's
in him.
right. And I thank you again, Lynette. We're gonna let you go.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll have you in again, talking about, how your ministry coming along,
Okay.
as far as with the clothing apparel and everything like that.
Okay.
And definitely thank you for, coming in and sharing your story.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. All right, take care. Love you,
All
sis.
right. Love you. Have a good night.
All right, bye-bye. So that was Miss Lynette Chennault. I almost called the Auburn. I've known Lynette since she was, I guess, 17, something like that. Beautiful woman. Like I said, it was a pleasure to see her, you know, photograph her wedding for her. Excuse me. But I wanted to bring her on so that you guys could see the many facets that cancer holds, as far as with breast cancer and everything like that. And she was really willing to, to share her story. You know what I mean? So I thank her for that very much. Definitely a warrior and a survivor. So next week we'll have, let me see here. Let me see. We'll have Apostle. Well, that's my pastor. Apostle Jimmy Ellis III. He is the pastor and founder of Victory Christian Center, and we will be discussing the importance of, I got to pull that back up, the importance of the Black church in the inner city. So next week we'll be checking that out. Let me blow it up for you guys so you can check it out. So you don't want to miss that. Also, today is somebody's birthday. So we're going to definitely give her a shout out. It's this young lady's birthday right here. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce her name because I'll kill it. So we'll just call her Miss Grimes. She turned 18 today. So we want to send you out a very happy birthday from the Ethel Lee Zachary Foundation. Hey, we support the youth. And like I said before, and every time, you know what I mean, just the mere fact that we're acknowledging these youth on here is a lot to them. You know what I mean? Well, some of them. You know what I mean? So, happy birthday again, Miss Grimes. I hope you had a wonderful day and many, many more to come. January the 21st, we'll be having our youth focus group. So you don't want to miss that. We'll be talking about things in regards to being 18, parental advice, so on and so forth. It will be virtual here on Urban Facts. So we definitely want you guys to come out because we want the parents to see how good and bad parenting affects children. So I figured if I get some children, they tell me. So that was my thoughts with that. If you guys want to donate to the foundation, please do. So it's Cash App is ELZ, well, the $ ELZ FDN, and your money goes towards the awards that we give children. We give a monthly award out to children called the Scholar of the Month Award. We give out awards for like community service. We're now planning our 2nd annual youth conference. So please, donate to the organization. Where it's a good cause here. We definitely focus on inner city youth and their community. So that's how we had Lynette come in, because we don't want any parents to pass away from breast cancer, whereas though, they can't help and support their children. And, Lynette is an adult now, but I'm sure she preferred that her mom be here, opposed to, being in heaven. So if you guys got any questions or you need information, please email us at elzfnd@outlook.com, and I'll definitely try to get back to you as soon as possible in regards to your request. Also, we have a parenting group on Facebook. It's the ELZ Parenting Forum. We give advice on there in regards to parenting. It's a place where you can come and get advice. It's a teaching and learning environment. I created this forum because I know there's parents out there that need help. Some of them are too prideful to ask for it, so they can just sneak on this page and look for whatever advice they may need. You know what I mean? And if you guys watching me now and you part of the forum, you can directly email me if you don't want to make the post. But I love you guys for coming out. However number it is. Sometimes I see 3, sometimes I see 5. But with God's grace, that number build up. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stop doing it. I don't care if I don't see no numbers at all, because it ain't about that. It's about the information that we're trying to give out to help better people. So I'll always be here. So that's it for me tonight. I love you guys. You guys have a wonderful evening, and God bless, and good night.